This is my process for editing, stitching, and uploading drone spherical photos. Um, in this case, ones that I took with the Parrot Anafi drone. I also use this pretty much the same process for ones I created with a GoPro 9 and a DJI Mavic drone. But anyway, the Anafi has a built-in spherical mode where it shoots 42 JPEGs in a sphere, including straight up and down. See, that's the upward facing one. Easiest way to choose the 42 is off the map on Lightroom, because it puts photos into clusters. So you choose your however many are in a cluster, and then you unclick the ones that are not in that 42. I like to boost the sharpness a little bit, even though they are JPEGs, so they have sharpening and all that stuff already, but you can improve them a little bit. Unfortunately, you can't do raw with the Anafi in that automated sphere mode. You have to manually shoot your sphere, but anyway, usually they come out pretty good. I like to turn down luminance on blue on all my landscapes usually. Make the sky darker, make the clouds pop a little bit. And oh yeah, make sure you have auto sync turned on when you're doing your edits so that all your photos get the same edits. Clarity is another good one to boost. Just don't go too far. And export, I always export to a folder for each set so I don't get mixed up on which photos are which. It's often pretty hard to tell with these spheres, with individual photos. Like the sky looks like the sky on, pretty much all the ones you do in a particular day. So anyway, just regular JPEG is what I use. Next step is open PTGUI. Go to File Open and then choose your photos. Apply the template. I don't remember where I got this template, but it was one that someone made custom for this drone. Usually it works pretty well, but not always perfect. And you can stitch without the template, but there's a higher chance of it getting messed up. I always turn off exposure compensation because it shouldn't be necessary. Make sure if your field of view is 360 by 180. If you have a missing top and bottom, it'll often choose a lower vertical field of view, so it'll be like 360 by 160, but make sure you adjust it so it says 180. This numerical transform is how you change your view, basically. So whatever is at the center of that crosshair is what the viewer is going to see when they first open the sphere on Streetview. Adjust your roll to get the horizon straight, and your pitch. It's like controls on an airplane. You roll, pitch, yaw. Usually I get it to a position where it's easy to see the horizon and adjust the roll and pitch, and then I set the yaw to whatever direction I want. And sometimes the horizon is just not going to get centered. So as long as it's close, it'll look good. So I'm going to have this one pointing kind of towards the town, so you see both the mountain and the ocean. The panorama editor on PTGUI has a few options, or a few views that let you see kind of where all your stitched photos are. You can see there's a lot of overlap, so if you need to get rid of one, I don't know, maybe a bird flew by or something like that, or you just can't get it aligned, then you can delete one and it'll still be fine usually, at least with this particular drone. So then I like to save after that step, and I already have one that I created, but this is just for this particular video. Then you do create panorama. The max resolution on Street View is 16:384 by 8192. Facebook allows, they say 100 megapixels, but I've only really successfully done Facebook ones that are half this resolution in each direction. You do have a couple options to export. You can do JPEG or Photoshop, and the Photoshop one, make sure you have that set to flatten. But I'm going to stick with JPEG. Exporting to Photoshop large is good if you need to edit, like if you need to fill in blank spaces, things like that. Next step, log into Chrome and go to Photos. That's the easiest way I've found. Google Photos. And see, I'm logged in with the same account that I'm using for this. So you choose your panorama file. You can also upload straight to Google Maps, but this is better, and you'll see why. You can click on it then to see what it looks like. It's kind of cool. It shows you your photo metadata. See, this is the first time we're seeing it with the spherical view, and you can kind of get a sense of how powerful this kind of image is, because it's kind of like landscape photography, except the user is the one choosing the framing, not the photographer. The photographer still chooses the position, the time, the altitude, everything else, but the user chooses the actual framing. So you get a real sense of what the landscape is like. You know, there's this Maui tropical plantation, and there's agricultural fields above that you get a great view of. From the street, you can't really see this kind of stuff well. Next, you open up your Street View app, make sure you're signed in. Click the orange button, and then import. Then go to your Google Photos option, and choose your photo. And it's not as easy as it should be because they're grayed out. It doesn't give you a good preview. So you have to remember what order you uploaded, or what order the photos were taken in, because that determines the order. In this case, I knew it was the third to last. So anyway, that's uploaded. You can view it on the app. It's still not published. This is your pre-process, I guess. Click the upper right, and then it'll let you choose a map listing. You can type in here, or you can choose. It'll automatically show some option. Then you edit your location, and this is an important step. It'll have the coordinates, but it won't have the angle of the view, or it won't have the compass direction. So the bottom part lets you drag the image to find something to point to. And then you drag the compass at the very bottom to point that red cone displayed on the map. So it actually points toward whatever you want to align it to. This is not going to affect how the image looks to the viewer. It's still going to be that same default point that we chose in PTGUI, but this is just the alignment to align the entire sphere with your compass. So I found that I can point to the town, and I can tell where it is on the map, and then I can set the red cone, and then location saved. Next step is to publish. So you hit the orange publish, and it'll work. It'll upload to, or it'll get displayed on Street View pretty quickly. So I literally just uploaded this, but I want to see if it's displayed already. So let me See, that zipline company is the closest physically on Google Maps, so that's why it shows that point. Oh, that's not mine. I need to find the exact location. So I'll go back to Lightroom, and it's right by that big tree. So go back to Google, turn on satellite, and drag it to that exact spot. Even though there's no blue dot, it's there. See, and it's tagged with that zipline company, December 2021, day gecko.